Hello, kindred spirits. Welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and today, as the veil begins to thin this Samhain and Beltane season, we are going to be looking into what spirits are coming forward for you and why. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful kindred spirits, and anyone new who may be joining us here today. We are going to be looking into, as I said, any messages from beyond the veil as the veil begins to thin here at Samhain and Beltane, depending on which hemisphere you're in. And we're going to be looking into what spirits are coming forward, why they're coming forward, and what messages they have for you. So this is very, very exciting. This is going to be a very fun reading. I had a lot of fun with each of the piles and quite a few surprising moments. So do feel free to choose more or multiple piles and keep your intuition cap on during this, as it's going to be very specific to each of you. And if you are new, do consider subscribing as we move through the piles if you're curious to see more, as I put out new videos every single Monday for pick a card readings, for educational videos on charm casting, and also a little bit of art magic with a grimoire in-depth tour. So definitely feel free to subscribe. Feel free to check out all of the different ways you can support the channel with the Kindred tip jar, and you can also support the channel through the Samhain spell and ritual papers that I create for your own magical rituals this Samhain season. They're really great for connecting with your ancestors and connecting with spirits, so do feel free to check those out. But we're going to go ahead and look at the piles here. So we have 3 different piles here with 3 unique different pile toppers, so feel free to choose multiple or play around with each. But here for pile number 1, we have this piece of blue Chalcedony. It is very smooth, very comfy, very cozy. Always makes me think of fabric freshener or something like that. But that is pile number 1. For pile number 2 here, we have this little elephant figurine carved from the stone of blue Goldstone with all of these little gold and silver little speckles. So that is pile number 2. And then last but not least, for pile number 3, we have this piece of Celestite with all of these blue little crystals all throughout. So that is pile number 3. So before you start heading off to the timestamps, I like to take a moment here to invite you to take a deep and cleansing breath here with me, so you can connect with your intuition, connect with your guides, call in your guides as we go through this as well, and just take a little moment here. So let's go ahead and take that deep breath together here now. And as always, there's no right or wrong way to choose your piles here. You can choose all 3 of the piles, you can play around between the piles, you can pick and choose or do as you'd like, but all the timestamps will be down below in the description alongside the chapter marks of this video. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want to support the space, definitely feel free to check out those Samhain spell and ritual papers before they're all gone or before Samhain has passed. And it's a great way to support the space. So thank you to everyone who's checked those out. But we're going to go ahead and move on to group number 1. Hello, group 1. If you've decided to choose this piece of blue Chalcedony, then this is the pile for you today, as we start looking into and discovering what spirits are coming forward beyond the veil for you this Samhain season, this spooky season, or in the southern hemisphere, maybe Beltane season, and what they wish to say to you. So we're going to be doing that with the charms, as well as several different oracle decks and the everyday tarot, all of which I'll have this listed down below in case you're curious or you want to look deeper into the tools that I'm using here. Before we start really hopping into it, I just want to remind you as we get started here to feel free to pause this video and connect with your own guides to bring them forward during this reading if you wish to, if you already kind of know who you're hoping to speak to. Otherwise, just keep your mind open with this, keep your intuition cap on, and see what comes through, and we can co-create this reading here today together, because I'm sure there's going to be specific charms and specific messages and signs and signals from your spirit guides or your spirits that are coming through that are going to be hard for me to pinpoint out. So definitely keep your own eyes peeled as we move through this reading, but we're going to start by looking into who might be coming forward and getting some hints on that, also as to maybe why. So we're going to look first into your charms. So feel free to pause on this if you want to and meditate with the charms here, but we're going to go ahead and mix these up for you to look into some of those signs that they want to bring forward. So here we go. Group 1. Okay, so we've got a nice little array of charms here, as well as one charm that flew on my elbow here and over next to the tarot cards, so it might relate to those later on, but we have the letter C showing up here, so that might give you an idea of a person coming forward. We have Taurus energy as well as Gemini energy coming forward, so if this is a spirit that lived among us, you might have a Taurus or a Gemini coming forward. We have definitely spirit messages coming through. Whenever I see the feather, it makes me think of signs from spirit that they've been kind of already in communication with you, especially since we have the Haya charm. And that also fell on top of the taking the path less traveled charm. Whenever I see this one, it makes me think of taking a path that's less traveled or going down a different path, pivoting in some way. So they've maybe already been trying to send you some signs and signals, so that might be something to look into and to keep in mind as we move through this. We also have the bell. So yeah, they've definitely already been in conversation with you, whether you know it or not. They've been trying to send out signals. They've been trying to send you things. Some of you might have been a bit oblivious because we do have the unknown charm. This makes me think of like dark matter in the universe. So there's something unknown about this situation or whatever they're trying to share with you. But it does seem, because we have this key showing up here with the key with the heart and then these little rackets, like these little tennis rackets, it makes me think that they're trying to like build a rapport with you or trying to build a conversation, a back and forth with you. But so far it's been sort of like one-sided communication. So I do think that they're trying to reach out. They're trying to show you what they have been trying to, send signals for, but maybe they're just not really hitting the nail, or they're not really hitting in the way that you were maybe hoping for. We also have this dolphin charm, so this might also give us some animal communication that might be coming through, possibly more marine or like a fish or something like that. And then we have the like heirloom charm or the mirror. This always makes me think too that they might be trying to communicate through scrying or through some sort of like physical object that they've been trying to communicate to with you. Scrying is sort of like the old-fashioned way of like communicating with spirit with like a telephone or something like that, right? Trying to communicate in that way through like a crystal ball, through a mirror, through fire scrying, looking at clouds, that kind of thing. And then we have a bit of some nature spirits coming through as well. So there's a couple of different things showing up here, but the biggest one that I would highlight is a little bit of nature spirits, possibly more of a animal or marine life with the sea as well. And then I'm also getting more of a like family or past loved one beyond the veil kind of trying to speak to you right now. That's possibly a Taurus or Gemini in their sun, moon, or rising. So that's everything that I'm really getting with your charms so far, but we are going to move on to look a little bit deeper with everything else. We're going to be seeing what you have coming through for your tarot cards. So let's go ahead and get right into those and see what you're getting there. I'll leave these up here though so that you can see them. I'll try to move them a little bit closer. But you can reference them as we move through this reading. But let's go ahead and see why they're wanting to talk to you, right? So we've already gotten that they've possibly been wanting to talk to you about changing a path or pivoting or shifting something, and they're trying to give you signs and signals about that. So maybe we could get a little bit more information on what that is all about. I'm going to take both of these actually, but we have the Eight of Cups, definitely a pivot card for sure. And then we have the Four of Cups, which is so funny because the Four of Cups is a kind of stubborn card. It talks about like spirit trying to show you something and you're just sort of looking at the cup, not knowing what you're supposed to do with it. It's like someone coming up to you and being like, here, high five, but you don't know what a high five is. So they're just sitting there awkwardly waiting for you to take this high five, and you're not really knowing what to do with it. That's what it kind of feels like this awkward communication, like early stages of communicating maybe with the spirit. Anything else that might be coming through? We also have the Eight of Swords. We have two eights coming forward. We have the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Swords alongside the Magician. And then we'll get one more card here, and we'll keep going later on with some more cards as well. One more card. There we go. So let's see what they sent through. And then we have the Seven of Cups. So we have a lot of cup cards. And then some swords and the Magician. So it feels like I said, Spirit is trying to speak to you about something right now. And you're not necessarily you're not getting the signals. It's getting choppy, It's like you can't fully understand it or get what they're trying to say to you. Or it's that you're ignoring the messages and kind of holding yourself back because maybe you already know what it is that they're trying to say, but you're ignoring the messages or ignoring the change and pivots that are on their way in. The pivot is all about like the Eight of Cups here, as well as the Eight of Swords, something that you're currently holding yourself back from, a pivot that is needed, a needed change that you're avoiding moving around or trying to slyly move your way through. But Spirit sees you. Spirit knows that there is something that you are in need of, a change that is needed to help you move forward. And they're definitely wanting to get that out to you. The needed change is more like this Eight of Cups, and the fact that the Eight of Cups represents a very emotionally charged situation where it could be just very bittersweet to let something go, to purge something away, or to move away from something, to retreat from a situation that no longer fulfills you, no longer emotionally fulfills you, physically fulfills you, or makes you feel safe or comfortable, or not really comfortable, but makes you feel possibly even less than or taken advantage of. There's something happening here emotionally that you need to be able to retreat from, and it's kind of creating a more toxic situation for you that's kind of binding you in this space. So they're definitely trying to help you move and navigate that situation, but there can be a bit of a stubbornness on your end, and also, like I said, maybe you're just new to this spirit as well, and that the communication is just sort of choppy. They're also showing us another part of the situation where this Eight of Swords keeps looking down at this Magician. And the Magician is all about kind of holding the power in your hands, having the agency in your hands to make actions. And also, I always see this card as being a very resourceful person, right? They've got the swords, the cups, the pentacles, the spirit behind them. They have the wands, right? They have all of the tools already in place, yet they're still kind of bound by this situation, and also by their own thoughts and their own expectations on certain situations and how they wish to come out. So I really feel like you are this Magician right now. There's something that you're trying to manifest forward, something that you're trying to move forward on, maybe even beyond this Eight of Cups, right? This Eight of Cups is possibly a big part of this situation because they do clearly want to let you know to take a different path and to pivot. But the Seven of Cups is also showcasing that there might be something new on the horizon as you retreat that you have your eye on, but you're kind of holding yourself back from it. Not avoiding it in the same way, but there is still this avoidance of change, of the unknown, of following your heart or following a dream or following this next opportunity in your path, because it is very unknown. And you definitely have stubbornness showing up here too, because we do have the persistence charm, persisting flexibility, and being very flexible. So I really think they're just trying to get you out of this rut that you might be in right now, whether that's creatively because the Seven of Cups, whether that's because of an emotionally charged situation that's possibly become more toxic, or something else as well. But let's go ahead and look a little bit further to see if we can get any more information here. So we're going to use these cards here to look a little bit deeper. These also might give you some more ideas on who this spirit might be, because they're very archetypal cards. But group 1, what does Spirit want group 1 to know here? Group 1. Definitely feel free, like I said, to meditate on these. We have the Herald with small regrets and longing. And then I want to pull one more as well. So what else might be coming through for you, group 1? What else does Spirit wish to share with you? Okay, and then we have the Shepherd, celebration and family. Ooh, okay, so this is definitely giving us more of the who this might be with the Shepherd, right? The Shepherd talks about, obviously, family and celebrations and the idea of that sort of animal spirit as well coming through. So I'm getting that feeling definitely that they're possibly an animal spirit or a loved one beyond the veil that you either had as a chosen family or family by blood, but there's definitely something showing up there that they want you to know that's related possibly to family. Maybe that's where this toxic situation is coming from as well, if it's not more of a nod towards the charms and who the spirit might be. And what I think is also interesting is you have the there's a bunch of these little dandelions at the bottom here. I don't know if you can really see them, but these little dandelions, which has a lot to do with detoxifying certain situations. So that's why I keep getting this feeling that you're like personally in more of a toxic situation with yourself or with a path, with an opportunity or with a person that's coming forward, that's where they're trying to focus their signs and signals to you right now. We also have the Herald, which I find interesting because we have this bunny here. It also says small regrets and longing, and it really is reminding me of the Eight of Swords and the idea of being quite bound by something. And then we have like a very wild creature of this bunny, and yet they have this collar here. And then we have these snakes, which really do have a lot more of that toxic side to them. So I really feel like the snakes are what are kind of binding you up and kind of putting you in this situation, possibly through some gaslighting or something like that they're trying to give you they're trying to kind of open your eyes to it, right? They're trying to let you know maybe what you're not seeing. Maybe you're thinking that you're in a really good place right now, and they're wanting you to know that it's not necessarily a bad place, but there's definitely better places for you, or there's better sort of options for you right now that you might not be seeing or might not be allowing yourself to see. Right? Sometimes we put these expectations on ourselves, or we put these narratives in our brain, and it's really hard to unwrite those narratives and realize that there were more pathways than we originally thought. And I think they're wanting you to see that the situation isn't so black and white. Anything else from Spirit? What else do they want to share with you? So these are the Song of the Grandmother cards. I want to see if anything kind of comes out here. Ooh, we have Passion with Grandmother Black Panther. This one flew right out of the deck. So I am very curious about this one. This is very different. So we have Grandmother Black Panther Passion. This is the number 34, in case those numbers resonate with you. It says, welcome your wildness. Let your heart fire. Lead the way. Playful in the dark. Let your heart fire. Lead the way, right? There is definitely something there where you're definitely feeling bound by a situation that's making it so it's very difficult for you to just be able to explore your passions or explore, right? We have this shepherd energy. We have this kind of domesticated energy. We have this bound energy. So there's a lot of energy showcasing right now, like stop signs or trying to, block your path from being able to change. And passion is at the heart of everything. So there's a passion you want to explore, or a part of yourself that is this Black Panther feels so empowered. They feel so like don't mess with me kind of energy. And I feel like they're wanting you to embody that. They're trying to show you ways and show you pathways that you're not currently looking at, to kind of put the agency back in your hands, to be able to move away from being shepherd, domesticated, kind of bound by something, right? But rather wild and free. Welcome your wildness. Let your heart fire lead the way. Playful in the dark. Playful in the dark, as well as like playing with the unknown some more, right? So I really feel like yours is kind of going many different directions. We'll pull one more card and then we'll see kind of the collective message that's really showing up here mostly. But basically they're just trying to show you how to empower yourself and to put agency back in your hands right now. So we have success. Bloom wherever you are planted. And then for whatever reason, I feel like there's one more. So I'm going to pull one more for you here. Ooh, and then we actually got bloom. Okay, so we have bloom wherever you are planted, and then we have bloom, and almost like they're continuing the sentence, and attract more than butterflies. So it feels almost like with bloom, it's kind of the idea too, like not just attracting the people into your life that are easy or simple, or there just feels like that it's tied to that toxic energy, right? That they're very charming, or they make kind of like fuzz up your brain a bit. This is showcasing like, attracting the people who are really going to be there for you, and attracting people who actually want to see you succeed versus trying to put you down when you do have success. And then we have, bloom wherever you are planted. So it's like, they're not saying you have to pivot or change drastically, but there is a pivot needed in order for you to gain back some power and to gain back some agency into your pocket here. So those are the main cards and main energies coming through from Spirit for you. I do hope that this has been useful and helpful to you, Group 1. And if you did have other specific signals or little signs that came through, I would love to hear in the comments down below how it resonated for you. These are always really interesting because as they are collective readings, we never really know who's going to come through. So I would love to hear. Also, do be sure to give this video a like if you did enjoy, and you're welcome to subscribe if you haven't already, to join this Kindred community and to join in on the readings that I put out every single Monday, as well as educational videos on charm casting. And I also have been trying to put in some more art magic videos as well, with a whole in-depth walkthrough of my grimoire. And if you want to look into getting some spell and ritual papers for yourself that I hand make for you to empower and to bring more power to your magic and impact to your magic, do be sure to check out the Samhain spell and ritual papers down below. And with that all said, I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys there. But thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you, Spirit, as well. And we're going to move to Group 2. Hello, Group 2. If you've decided to choose this blue goldstone with this elephant, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to set your little elephant down here so we can look into your charms here first, but we're also going to be playing around with the Everyday Tarot, as well as several different other oracle decks, which I'll have all of this listed in the description down below in case you're curious. And also, before we get started, I also just kind of want to remind you to keep your mind open as we move through this reading, and definitely feel free to sit down, meditate before we get started, connect with your own guides, call them in if you'd like to kind of just really hone in and bring in those spiritual messages, because we're going to be seeing what spirit guides are coming forward with the charms, as well as why they're coming forward. And I also want you to keep an open mind, because I want you to kind of use your own intuition as we move through this, because this is a collective reading. We never know exactly who's going to come through. So keep your own mind open. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, because there's going to be small things that are going to be so unique and so specific to you that it's going to be like, oh my gosh, yes, that's what this means. But to someone else, it might mean something entirely different. So do keep your mind open, and we're going to just play and see what comes forward from Spirit here as the veil is thinning. So we're going to go ahead and zoom this in. Sorry about the focus there. And we are going to see your charms. So do feel free to meditate on the charms if you'd like to invite Spirit to bring themselves forward. But we're going to go ahead and have a little look-see. So who is coming forward and what traits are they bringing forward? So Group 2. Oh my goodness. You guys had splashes of charms here, and several that wanted to just fly out. As I was doing the charms as well, my back felt very stiff all of a sudden. So it also felt like they were almost like suppressing part of themselves, like they didn't want to put the spotlight on themselves too much. So I find that really interesting. We're going to see how that connects with everything that we have here. So let's just have a little look together. So we have the letter J showing up here in case that gives you some idea. We have the number 6. We also have February 12th. On this little expiration date charm. We have an eagle, as well as the no cash value charm showing up here. We have the magician charm. Okay, so this is what I'm really gathering here. We have quite a few different things, but they're not necessarily really revealing a ton about themselves. You know what I mean? It feels very... And then we got the mouse charm, which represents being kind of stubborn. So it doesn't really feel like Spirit doesn't want to bring you some messages today. I just think that they don't literally want the spotlight on themselves. Some of the messages that they might be bringing forward are related to, or actually since I don't know, they might be a little bit related to like career. I couldn't come up with the word career here because we have the no cash value, but because it says no cash value, it's kind of giving me this feeling that it's not about career actually. And it feels like more of a focus on possibly romance with this roses charm that are relationships. We do have 2 of the light charms here. Like they're trying to enlighten something or bring to light to something, but not necessarily themselves. Does that make sense? Like they literally want to put the spotlight on you. They really don't want the spotlight on themselves right now. That, or they're just a very humble, very, modest kind of person when it comes to that. We do have more career messages with all this gold. So we're going to take it as is. I feel like it's just like half and half. Like some of you, it's going to be more romance related messages, and some of you, it's going to be more related to career. So definitely keep an eye out, especially since we got a few career related messages. So kind of keep your eye out there. I think actually we have a little one down here. So we also have the letter C showing up here. So we have like CJ, JC showing up here. And then what I think is really interesting is we got the expiration date charm, which usually tells me that this is something that's something that has divine timing, or it's something that's very specific to timing. So we're going to keep in mind timing as we move through this, but also because it's an expiration date and they don't really want a lot of spotlight on themselves, is making me think that like they're only here during the veil shift and that they're not really going to be able to speak with them for very much longer. You know what I mean? Like it feels like they're just like not going to be here year round. They're not a spirit that will probably present themselves to you year round, but they have something very specific to say just around this time of year before the veil sort of expires or thins and closes again. So I'm going to keep that in mind, but feel free, like I said, to look at these a little deeper if you want. You can pause, but I'm going to keep them over here on the side where you can see them when I zoom back out, that is. And we're going to start diving into the why they're here. So let's go ahead and look here with the tarot cards. So do feel free to send your energy in, any spiritual energy as well. And let's just get right into it. So what does the spirit wish to sort of put the spotlight on you for? So we have the Queen of Swords right off the bat, a very level-headed person. We're going to see anything else that they are bringing forward here. We also have the Queen of Wands. Wow, okay, so we've got 2 queen energies. This is very empowering already. Very confident energy coming through. Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords, they're both looking forward as well, which tells me that they're looking towards the future. They're very much not stuck in the past right now. So when it comes to timing, right, we're really looking to the future. We're not introspecting. So what else do we have coming in group 2? Definitely feel free to send your energy in. They're very mysterious, your guys' pile here. So we have the Wheel of Fortune, and I'm going to take another one off the top. So we also have the Ace of Pentacles. And that one kind of coming that way. The Wheel of Fortune telling us more about divine timing, telling us that timing is very much of the essence right now. So we're going to see why might it be of the essence right now. Oof. Group 1. Group 2. So we have the 10 of Wands, which gives us a little bit more information. So this is what I'm really seeing here with all of your cards here. We're starting off with two major queens showing up here. The Queen of Swords, which is the queen of intellect, of communication, of when it comes to career, it's like if you're going into like a job, or you're searching for a job or going into interviews, right? You're very good with your words. You're a very good communicator. You're very confident, and you're really standing in your own power. That, or the role in which you are in your career, in your job, is very much coming forward. But it feels like you're trying to move to another project, or you're trying to manifest something forward through your job, whether that's a raise, whether that's a new job position, whether that is through a good interview going well, whatever it might be that you're hoping to have success. It definitely is showcasing that you have your eye on it, because we have the Ace of Pentacles showing up here, and they're trying to put it in your pocket, right? So it feels like Spirit is definitely trying to lead you that way and trying to help you get to where it is that you're kind of putting your mind. If it isn't related to career, like I said, a few of you had sort of these romance messages. It also feels like to manifest that romance to come forward, there is a need to focus on your own confidence, and need to focus on the way that you communicate and how you communicate with others through dating apps and other things, being very direct about your red flags, your needs, who you're looking for in a relationship, and how that can help manifest that forward. And making sure that you're not kind of holding back or putting on a false bravado of yourself, but rather being very much who you are, and putting that out on the table very honestly and very fully, so that you can actually find people who are your people, whether that's looking for a romantic relationship or a friendship, whether that's through career, right? Just being your honest, confident, truest self. I know it's very cliche, but that is what Spirit is trying to highlight here, is going to help you manifest this forward, especially in the timing that you're looking for. The 10 of Wands is an interesting curveball, because it was the clarifier card for the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune telling us that right now there is something that is very much related to timing, whether that's the expiration date that we were talking about earlier, where like Spirit is only going to be here for a certain amount of time, and they have a lot of messages under their belt that they really want to get out to you right now. Or, and more likely, I feel like, is that Spirit is telling you that there's something that, especially with the aces tell us that this is a very fleeting moment in time. So I feel like there's something that is a job opportunity that you really have to hop on or take advantage of right now. Waiting is only going to make it more difficult for success to come forward. So if you've been looking for someone on a dating app, if you've been looking for that raise, if you've been wanting to, schedule that meeting, start that project, work on that hobby, whatever it might be that you're trying to physically manifest into existence, this is the time to do it, right? There is an opportunity coming forward to you right now that they're really wanting to highlight and reminding you that there is an expiration date on it. So jump on it if you're going to do it. Because otherwise it's also telling that like you do have this expiration date, but they're also telling you that you might be just really busy right now, and that's why it's very easy for you to like shrug it off and be like, oh well, I'll try to get to it next month, or oh well, I'll give it to the next person, or something like that. And they're telling you that even though you might be kind of under a lot of pressure right now, or there might be a lot of things happening, birthdays, holidays, big get-togethers, projects that you're working on, other things that are getting in the way, to not let those get in the way entirely, and to still keep your eye on the ball is what they're kind of really trying to say. So let's look a little bit further. Let's see what else they want to let you know of. So we're going to look into this archetypal deck here of the Citadel Oracle and see maybe some more information on them if they wish to share more. Like I said, they seem like they didn't want that spotlight on them, so we'll see. Otherwise, we're going to just see some more. Ooh, that one just flew right out. Did you see that? We're going to see some more for you as well here. So we have the Tailor, attention to detail. So, right, that's a very important detail. Maybe even taking a moment as well to pause this, look at all the little details. Maybe there's something you're not noticing right now that they really want you to see the threads and see how it's connecting. But we also have the keyword of pride. So those two different things showing up here. Pride also can be related to like sexuality as well. So that can also be something more related to the dating side of things and something to keep in mind. But we have the tailor here. And then we have the brawler, very different, right? The tailor is very like precise cuts, very precise movements, flexibility in the hands. And the brawler is a lot more like, power and force. So we have a lack of empathy and confrontation showing up here with the brawler. Wow. I've not actually gotten this card before, so I'm just really taking a moment to look into it. I think it's interesting too that we got these roses, right? We have all of these roses in this charm. This is what made me see that romance message. So this might be more related to the romance side of things. And we have these roses sort of showing up here all around the brawler. So it's making me think too that you're either one coming in for like, you're just telling it as it is when it comes to like your dating like your dating profiles, telling your red flags, what you want, what you're looking for, right? You're being very direct, but maybe your directness, yes, can be confident, but it's making sure that you don't also come off very confrontational or very like abrupt. So letting those things come out more naturally as well could be maybe more useful for some of you. And also I got this feeling too, like to make sure that you're not also bringing things from past relationships or past situations, even relationships like through coworkers or other things, into your next job, into your next phase here, or into this next relationship, making sure that you give them the benefit of the doubt, because it feels like you might just immediately come in, hands swinging before they've even done anything for that to even be, sort of warranted. So we have that showing up here with the tailor. Like the tailor really feels like a very specific message that like there's something that you maybe haven't noticed yet. So really look at the charms, really take a moment to look back if you want to, or to look at all of the different cards here, to zoom in if you need to, and make sure there isn't a detail that you're missing. Let's go ahead and see further. We're going to pull one from the Song of the Grandmothers here and see what song they are singing to you right here. So we're going to see group 2 here. What else do they wish to share with you? Oh my goodness. That is full of, oh my goodness. Did you see the one you got too? That's crazy. You chose the elephant and then you got the elephant. I got chills from that. Like you could have gotten any of these cards. And then we also have this spider showing up here as well. I don't know if we have space, but I might just put both out. That was crazy. So let's go ahead and look here. We'll start with the elephant because you already had an elephant message just generally coming through. This one, like when I picked the piles, sometimes it takes me a really long time sometimes to choose what goes on top of each of the piles. But this elephant I haven't used in months, and all of a sudden it just was like, use me. Like, I need this to come forward. So clearly there was a reason behind it. So this specific card at least is saying grandmother elephant community. And it says here, solid synergy, ask for and receive support, help each other grow. So it could be, like I said, coworkers, or it could be related to community when we talked about earlier with this brawler card. Also, it could be that what you're trying to move forward is related to community. Again, this is going to be specific to each of you, so take your time deciding how that is being interpreted for you. But also the elephant has a lot to do with memory, right? That there's a lot of memory coming through here too. So I think it's a reminder too, like they're very intelligent creatures, ones that, don't forget easily. So that's again making me think of this card where I was saying like you maybe aren't giving people the benefit of the doubt, or not giving a situation the benefit of the doubt, and rather sort of looking at it from a past point of view, even though you're trying to look forward. Something is showing up here with the elephant, so definitely look into it. Maybe look into some elephant messages and things that you can see. Look for elephants around you right now. If like you see a ton of elephant signs and signals coming forward, it could just be a personal like tag to be like, okay, what were you thinking about when you saw that elephant? Why did they bring this message forward to you, right? It could just be a way in which they are trying to communicate with you. So definitely look into elephants and their lore. And then we also got Grandmother Spider here with creativity. The number 41, this was also 13. 13 being a number related to the death card. So that can also be why maybe we're getting more of that negative, maybe not negative, but more of a sort of warning or a cautionary message with the brawler. But yeah, this one is 41. Permission to make, spin your threads. Ooh, we had threads earlier. Spin your threads, your web create. Else, everywhere you go. So there's definitely a thread showing up here. When I see threads as well, it's telling me that there's threads through time, something that's been culminating behind the scenes that Spirit is probably trying to kind of make something happen for you, and they're kind of trying to thread it all together. So I do see that. Also, just creativity as well can be coming through right now, that this is a very creative time for you when it comes to maybe a hobby that you're trying to hop on, or a community creative event, who you let into your web, right? These are very easy to interpret in many different ways, so do take your time with them. And then we're going to pull one final card, or maybe two if we get multiple, to just sort of round off the reading and see if there's anything else that Spirit wishes to share with you today. Group 2. Ooh, potential. The littlest key can open the heaviest door. I love that. The littlest key can open the heaviest door, right? So it doesn't have to be something that takes a ton of energy, whatever it is you're trying to manifest over here with that ace, right? It doesn't have to take all of your energy. It doesn't have to take all of your time, but that small little step, that small little thread, that small little movement forward, it has a lot of potential for success. It has a lot of potential to move you forward and to open some doors for you, right? Sometimes we don't need big grand gestures or really big massive steps to break down these doors and to break down barriers to get ourselves forward. Sometimes it's those little baby steps that add up and make a really huge difference, or just one small baby step that can actually end up in hindsight look like a huge leap. So do take your time with this. I do think the one last thing I want to mention here is we have this star, and then we had the star energy showing up here as well. So they're definitely trying to guide you in some way. Stars might also be another way in which they want to communicate with you through like astrology, or certain astrological events might be really important to you right now to help you with that divine timing part of things. And maybe it's an expiration in terms of like a celestial event or an astrological event that's related to this brawler card. Again, taking your time and really looking at all of the details here could be very beneficial for you. But those are all of the charms, those are all of the cards that you have here today from Spirit. I do hope this was useful to you. I would love to hear down in the comments down below how it resonated for you, especially with videos like this, because like I said, it's a collective reading and many different spirits could be coming forward. So I'd love to hear what kind of spirit you might have been feeling, how the messages really connected, different charms and cards and those little details. I would love to hear if you're willing to share. And also do be sure to give this video a like if you did enjoy it, and if you haven't already, do consider subscribing, as I put out new videos every single Monday for pick a card readings. But I also do have a whole master guide on charm casting and an in-depth grimoire tour if you want to look more deeply into more of the magical charm and tarot side. And before you go, if you want to support this channel even further, a great way to do that is to looking into the creative inspirations and sort of musings that I get up to. And I currently have some Samhain spell and ritual papers that you can check out right now if you're interested in sort of uplifting and creating more impact into your magical rituals this Samhain season. They're great for being able to write to spirit and to communicate with spirit. I've used them to create a little magical portal in my grimoire to meditate with spirit, and there's many different ways you could use them. So do feel free to check those out down below, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello group 3, if you've decided to choose this piece of Celestite, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and set it here so we can look at it, and you can look at it as we move through your reading. We are going to be playing around with the charms to look into specific traits from Spirit, but we're also going to be looking to see what they have to say to you through different oracle and tarot cards, all of which I'll have listed down below in the description in case you're curious. But before we get started, I just really want to remind you to keep your mind open as we move through this reading, because any kind of spirit could be coming forward. Multiple spirits might be coming forward as this is a collective reading. But to keep your mind open to look into those very minute details that are very specific to you. And that maybe I'll interpret them one way, but definitely keep your mind open and take what resonates, leave what doesn't, play around and see what comes forward. But with that all said, let's go ahead and start playing around with Spirit and see what they have to say. So let's go ahead and zoom in her. And let's see what the charms have to say first. So like I said, these are going to look into very personal and specific details that Spirit is going to be presenting to you to share with you. So we can see what Spirit is coming forward, if it's a family member, an animal, the Fae, or anything else. We're going to be seeing what that is, deities, gods, all that kind of stuff. And see if they have anything else they want to share with us. So feel free to pause this video, meditate with the charms, call in your own guides, and spirits that you already wish to work with, and we're going to see what they have to say. So group 3, who is coming forward for group 3? Okie dokie. So we have a few different charms showing up here. So let's start looking to see. We have the number 13, which usually represents and is related to the death card. So this can represent definitely someone who has passed or someone who is beyond the veil already, that you already maybe speak with or have already known in life. Possibly a dog or a cat, a pet of some sort, because we have the paw charm and then we have this little bone and this it says top dog on here for a little pet bowl. We also have the turtle charm. So we have lots of animals showing up here, more animals than any other pile so far. So definitely, and we even have the letter A showing up here. So it definitely could be an animal that's coming forward to speak to you. Animals beyond the veil are, they speak and talk to us in very different ways than sometimes in life. We also have the feather, so it could be a bird or other type of creature. So that's something to keep in mind. The animal charms can also remind you too with like deities and things too. It could be someone who's really related to animals or works with animals, is corresponded to them. And then I thought you guys might get more of an angel message here, because Celestite has a lot of connotations and correspondences to angels or angelic figures, winged creatures, that kind of thing. And you have the angel charm here. It says I love you on it, from the DeSoto Caverns. That's where this was made. But yeah, there's a little angel showing up here. So there could also be an angel or a more winged or air related spirit. So like I said, it really could be related to those. But what else do we have showing up here? We have the romance charm. We have a heart showing up here. So this could be more romantic messages. This kind of came through a little bit in pile 2, so I'd be curious to see if they relate in both ways for you if you watched both of them. We have the winter charm. So this could be telling you timing. It could be telling you a specific season and how it's related to this. And then we have in correspondence with this one, we have the anchor charm. So there could be something that's happening in winter or coming up for winter for you that is kind of holding you back or, freezing you in place, kind of keeping you quite sheltered or held in. So they might be trying to tell you something about that. We have the guiding light charm of like the lighthouse, and then we have the celebrations charm. So there could also be a birthday or something like that might be really related to the messages here today. Like I said, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but these are the ones that we're getting. We have the Hamza, I always say it wrong, little hand here. of protection. So maybe it also could be that they're trying to protect you right now, something coming up in the winter, possibly mental health related or related to emotions in some way or relationships. We have a smaller unknown charm showcasing something that this makes me think of like the remember all, like you don't really know what you forgot. And then a few other charms that aren't really speaking that much to me. We have the wrench, we have this little clasp or a ladder charm. We have the breaking cycles charm, the plants. So this could also be related to like a tree or some plant that might be speaking to you, right? Spirit is very mysterious, so we will see. But those are all of the charms that we have here, but I want to go ahead and look at what you have for your tarot cards and your oracle cards to see why they're coming forward, right? So we definitely feel like you already probably have a connection to them in some way, but maybe they're trying to grow a more spiritual connection with you. So we're going to see how that is coming forward with your cards. So for group 3, however spirit might be coming through, we wish to see what it is you wish to tell them. What are the signs and signals, messages you wish to bring forward? So first off, we have the Page of Cups showing up here, all about friendships, relationships, reconnecting, rekindling relationships, reconciling something. I always like this one. It kind of always just feels like a moment away from a party, right? Like you're taking a moment away, and it's very wondering, and it has wonderment and a dreamy quality to this Page of Cups, so I'm very curious to see how that connects. We also have the Hermit, okay, and they're like right behind you. It almost feels like spirit is right behind you, like leading the way, and they are the fish. The fish usually represents in this card, and I always find it kind of funny, but the fish usually represents curiosity or looking towards a relationship that's just sort of like popped their way in. That's why it's always kind of like a new friendship or a new relationship sort of popping their way into your life. And the Hermit seems to be, almost feels like spirit right behind you, kind of guiding you along. So let's see how that relates to everything else that might be coming through. What else does spirit wish to share with you? So we also have the Four of Pentacles, which can represent sort of staying in. It can represent frugality, safeguarding, protection. And then we also have Justice showing up here. This is a very interesting array of cards, and they're all looking the same direction as well. And then we have the Five of Wands. Okay, so this is giving me this feeling like Hermit is almost, like I said, feels like spirit, kind of right behind you, looking after you, looking to like protect you in some way. It does feel like you maybe had some hardships with them in actual like waking life, because we have the Five of Wands, which represents like you maybe weren't always on the same page, or you didn't always see eye to eye, or you currently maybe don't always see eye to eye. Like I know some people don't necessarily believe in angels or don't believe in spirit in the same way. Obviously we all have different views on that. But the Five of Swords is showcasing that maybe this person in life, maybe you didn't have the same views, beliefs, or opinions, and yet they're still trying to guide you. So you might have a bit of a conflict happening there, or a conflict in the idea of like what you believe, and how that might be shifting or changing right now based off the signs and signals that they're bringing to you. Or they're just trying to bring news about a conflict that is kind of making itself known in relationships right now with you. There might be a relationship that's sort of popping its way into your cup, right? Popping its way into your life, a new friendship, a relationship, rekindling something or reconnecting with someone where you're currently feeling maybe a little snubbed, or feeling like you need to safeguard yourself or protect yourself from this person right now because they're bringing forth a lot of conflict as well. So I feel like it could go one of two ways. I kind of feel like we need a little bit more information though. So let's go ahead and pull a couple more cards here. These are some archetypal cards from the Citadel Oracle. So what archetypes are coming forward when it comes to this relationship or these relationships that you're highlighting? So we have the Warrior, perfectionism and burnout. And then we have the Chiromancer, delivering news and collaboration. So the way that these even fell, right, we've got it on this side where Spirit's trying to lead you, and this is more of the context. So on the side where Spirit is trying to lead you, we have the Chiromancer, delivering news and collaboration. This has more of like an astrological or palm reading sort of idea to it. So this makes me think that they're definitely trying to bring in signals and signs. And because it's your hand too, this is making me think that they're really trying to speak to you through your body and through the responses of your body, right? So really listening and trusting your gut is super important for you right now. And when it comes to navigating this conflict or navigating even an inner conflict that might be happening with this hermit, right? It could even be the relationship to yourself right now, that they're trying to deliver some news or trying to share something with you. It can also be that there's an astrological event in timing happening right now that's kind of opening up some conflict or opening up some wisdom to you right now when it comes to relationships, when it comes to the relationship with yourself, or it comes to an inner conflict that you might be having with yourself or with Spirit right now. Either way, they're trying to deliver some news, and it might be related to a very specific timing that's happening astrologically, or that you're feeling in your gut or feeling in your body, right? This is feeling like a lot of you probably chose pile 3 because it's going many different ways. So definitely feel out which way feels connected to you and your connection with Spirit here. But when it comes to the context here around this Page of Cups, we have this feeling of like someone who is feeling snubbed, or you're feeling snubbed in a relationship right now. You're feeling like you need to safeguard yourself or protect yourself from someone. Maybe that's why there's that reconciling too. Maybe this happened in the past and you're maybe moving through it. But we have the Warrior, perfectionism and burnout. This also makes me think too that like, right, you're kind of gearing yourself up. You're feeling like you're having to protect yourself even with this big shield taking up most of this card. So you might also be, reconnecting with someone over the holidays, right? That could be like a really big thing that's happening for a lot of people, right? They're reconnecting with people that they don't necessarily agree with or don't have the same views or beliefs with, that you feel like you need to protect yourself or are feeling, a little bit uneasy about seeing when it comes to like specific events that are coming up. Especially since we had that celebrations charm show up here as well. And this feeling of needing to break cycles or having the tools in which to kind of deal with that situation or work through that situation. Like I said, around winter, which a lot of holidays are happening around winter, you might freeze up or feel like you need to be, safeguarded or try to find a safe space for yourself. There is also that sort of uneasy feeling maybe with the holidays coming up as well. And they're trying to maybe just be supportive. It honestly feels like they're just wanting to support you through conflicts that might be showing up in life through relationships over the next couple of months. It really feels like Spirit just wants you to know that they're looking after you. They want to, connect with you and keep you calm. If it was an animal, right, they want to maybe be able to cuddle up to you or keep you, safe in some way. Animals love to keep us safe, and keep us protected and joyful and bring joy to our lives. So can also be a little bit of that too. So let's go ahead and pull a Song of the Grandmothers card to look a little further. So what else might be coming through Group 3? Yep. Grandmother, Earthquake, Friction. All right, this is definitely a friction card, so this makes sense. This is number 59, in case that number resonates for you in any way. And this is Earthquake with friction. Energy release, fissures revealed on purpose, shaking up your life. Oh, sorry, that was out of focus, but that is what the card has to say here. And so this really feels like friction. It feels like beliefs. It feels like, an inner turmoil of some sort or an outward turmoil with someone in your life that you're feeling like you need to safeguard yourself from, feeling like you need to have a little bit of breathing space from. So there might be, just like I said, it feels like Spirit just really wants to be there, really wants to hold space for you and keep you calm and really protect you. Angels are very protective spirits, and as are our animals and loved ones in our lives, right? So that definitely feels like they're just really wanting to put a shield up for you, even put their hand up for you, right? And keep you safe. So not a lot of new information from this card, but it definitely feels like a confirmation. So let's look a little bit further and we'll pull 1 or 2 more cards here to just look a little deeper. Anything else that you want to finish up this reading with, Spirit, for Group 3? Group 3 here. Definitely feel free to send your energy in. Okay. So you got both relax and then also radiance, both of which have a sun on them, which I think is interesting. They're trying to like give you warmth, give you joy, give you, a little bit of that star energy here. Radiance, keep your head held high and follow the sun. Relax, delight in powdered gold sunshine. So it really feels like they're just trying to like give warmth into your life, give you some joy, to remind you to look for those small little joys in your life, those little curiosities as well that pop up, to hold your head high in these conflict periods of time. It really just feels like they're telling you to take a breath. I've pointed this out before in this card, but I always love that even in all of this friction, it gives a little bit of breathing space for this breeze to come through. So it also makes me think too that like breathing through the unknown, breathing through these difficult conflicts, I think are going to be a really great way for you to move through this situation. Your breath can be highly powerful in doing so, and moving through pain, moving through uncomfortable situations, and through the friction that you might be, finding yourself in around the holiday season, around these people that might be showing up in your life, or through some inner turmoil that you might be having with yourself right now. It also feels like they want to speak to you through the sun, or the sun is really important when it comes to like identifying them. And then on top of that, it also feels like they're just saying like getting some vitamin D over the winter is important on a very like specific level, especially since they are the one holding the star here. They're the one bringing it forward. So it really feels like they're just wanting to bring a bit of light to your difficult situation. They're just really wanting to comfort you and safeguard you and keep you safe as you move through any difficult situations over the next few months when it comes to relationships and through conflict and friction that might arise. So those are all of the cards and charms that I have for you. I'll go ahead and show you the charms once more, but definitely let me know in the comments down below if a specific charm really called out to you, if you saw something different than I did, right? I always invite you to see differently and to play around with the charms and the cards as you wish, because, your intuition is powerful, and I'd love to hear. Also, do be sure to give this video a like if you did enjoy it, and if you haven't already, do consider subscribing, as I put out new videos every single Monday for pick a card readings. But I also have a master guide on charm casting and an in-depth grimoire tour of my grimoire, which you can get a little taste of looking at the Samhain spell and ritual paper that I use, especially around, obviously, Samhain, because it's great for writing letters to loved ones beyond the veil, and it's also really useful for automatic writing, for creative scrying, for creating meditation portals, astral portals, all sort of fun magical things. So do feel free to check that out, as well as the Samhain spell and ritual papers that I have down below. I have a few sets left if you want to snag one, and I am wishing you the best. Thank you so much to Spirit and yourself for coming forward for this reading, and I hope to see you in the next one.